So do you miss Singapore?
Very much. I miss. Shall I tell you what I miss?
Yes. What?
Laksa.
Oh my god.
I miss the Botanic Gardens.
Oh.
I miss teaching, obviously. Yeah. My friends, all of the other teachers, the students. I miss you all. But it is nice to be back at home in England as well.
So while you were, when you were there, right? Why did you choose to come to Singapore?
I chose to come to Singapore because I had a member of my family quite a long time ago used to live in Singapore, and she always told me how much she loved it and how she had a really good time living there. So I know you're looking surprised. So I decided that I wanted to go and see what it was like as well. That's why I wanted to go to Singapore.
Oh. And you choose to teach in Singapore?
Yes.
So, how are the students in Singapore and in London? How are they different?
I would say in Singapore, education is viewed quite differently to the way that it is viewed in England. So in Singapore, people really want to learn a lot of the time and really want to achieve high grades, and there's often people's parents want them to do very well at school and can put some pressure on them. I would say in England it's slightly different because some children tend to take education for granted, and I don't think they really understand that in some countries children don't have an education, so they sort of take it for granted and don't necessarily work too hard. I mean, that's just a few children. There are a lot of children in the UK who do work very hard as well, but I would say generally, on the whole, Singaporean school children have a more positive attitude towards education.
Yeah. That's cool.
Not that I'm trying to butter you up or anything.
Oh, that's okay. So, while you're there, right, how do you keep in touch with the Singapore culture, laksa and
Okay, there's a restaurant in London. It's off Oxford Circus, and it's called I can't remember what it's called. Something like Singapore Life or something.
Oh.
And they do lots of. It's owned by a Singaporean couple, and they do lots of local Singapore food. So I take my friends there, and I make them eat lots of unusual things that they've never had before, which is quite fun.
That's good. Yeah.
Practice using my chopsticks again as well.
Do the people in London know about Singaporeans? Yeah, when you say that, do you know where Singapore? Would they say they were from China or India?
Some people, I bumped into this girl the other day who I used to go to school with ages ago, and we haven't seen each other for years, and she'd obviously realised that I'd been abroad or something somehow, and she said to me, "Oh, how was China?"
That's so sad.
And I just sort of said, yes, Singapore was great. Thinking maybe she'll go home and Google it and realise that Singapore's actually below Malaysia, not really that close to China.
Yeah. That's like 8 hours flight.
I think most people have an understanding of the fact that where Singapore is, and they know that it's not part of China, really. I'm hoping that was just an exception.
Yeah. Yeah. So London they're gonna host the Olympics 2012, right? How is the country preparing for it?
Well, everyone's getting very excited now. You can really sort of feel the anticipation and the buzz. There's going to be a new mayor of London elected in the upcoming weeks. They're actually campaigning at the moment. So whoever there's a risk of terrorism and things like that. So we are always being sort of instructed by the police on how to behave during the Olympics and things. People that work in central London, like myself, are actually being encouraged to work at home during the Olympics rather than travelling in, so that we can let the tourists use the trains rather than clogging up the trains with local English people. They want us to work from home so that the London transport system doesn't get too busy. Those are the sort of logistical things, but really everybody's getting very excited. Everyone's looking forward to seeing the opening ceremony, which probably won't be as good as Beijing's, but anyway.
It's cool. Like Singaporeans are all over the world.
Yeah.
Oh my god. So so the people in your country, right? Are they like prepared to like get people from other countries to come to London?
Yeah, they are. Everyone's prepared to have lots of people visit. We know that there are going to be who's walked in. we know that there are going to be lots of different people coming. So there's quite a diverse racial culture to London anyway. That there's lots of different people from different backgrounds living in London. And what they'll do is each different area, like we have a Chinatown and a Little India as well, and sort of each of those areas try and cater for those people that are coming by sort of putting on different events like festivals and food tasting events and special offers in restaurants and things like that. So London will try and welcome everybody that comes, yeah.
Oh, that is very cool.
So
How's life there? I mean, I know it's more relaxing, but then are the people there like really, 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 really nice? If you compare like people there and people here, how different are they?
Okay, I would say that bus drivers in Singapore are really, really nice all the time. Well, they were to me mostly.
Okay.
Bus drivers in London are not very nice. For instance, in Singapore, they tend to sort of wait for you if you're running to the bus. They see you running and they wait. In London, they just sort of drive off and leave you, and then you have to wait for the next bus, and it's always delayed because the traffic's bad. And so, yeah, some people are very friendly in Singapore, whilst others in London are a bit grumpy sometimes.
oh,
I thought it was. I thought that was.
everyone's nice.
Yeah, I thought that everyone that is nice and here are just grumpy people.
Yeah. I think everyone always sees a country that is not their native country in a more favourable light, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, probably.
I